Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review, and another anniversary movie review. This time, doing a review of marking the 25th anniversary, which was 2017, going back to the 1992. This marks marking the 25th anniversary of the year 1992's. And this one, reviewing the 25th anniversary of an action film that was the kickstart to Wesley Snipes' career as an action hero. And that film is Passenger 57. Yep, released in 1992. This is the film that kickstarted his career as being an action star. And I enjoy Passenger 57. It's a good Wesley Snipes film for especially an action film. And I thought Wesley Snipes did a great job, and just I'll get to it, but I think it's a well-handled action film. The action scenes are definitely there, and you have a really good villain, played by Bruce Payne. I thought he did a great job as this bad guy named Charles Rain. And it's a very fast-paced action film. It's only 84 minutes, but it's a very fast-paced action film. And the cast I thought was really good, especially for Wesley Snipes and Bruce Payne. Tom Sizemore has a supporting role as who plays John Carter. That's Wesley Snipes' character, his buddy in the agency, because he's like because John Carter, Wesley Snipes, is like the head of national security for airlines. And I thought the directing by Kevin Hooks, I thought was well handled and well edited. And when the action scenes are there, no shaky cams. I can understand what's going on. And Wesley Snipes, I thought he just did a really good job with his, showing a couple of his martial arts skills. And speaking of martial arts, actually when he's on the plane, and when he's sitting down in one of the seats, and he's reading a book called The Art of War, which is kind of funny because later on he would go on to star in a film called The Art of War, and then the sequel too. So I thought that was kind of a funny thing. But yeah, I think it's a really enjoyable action film, and because with this film, with Wesley Snipes, he'll be able to go on and star in greater action films like Blade, including the two sequels, and Demolition Man. He was a fun bad guy in Demolition Man. Then, of course, like I said, The Art of War, that film. Then there was that one we co-stars with Woody Harrelson, Money Train. And then there was a few more actors, but mostly notable for doing the Blade trilogy as well, and of course being Demolition Man. But I enjoy Wesley Snipes. He's just really good. But originally for Snipes, originally with that Stallone was gonna star in this, but I guess he turned it down. And that's funny what Tom Sizemore's character, his name is Sly, which is kind of like the poke fun of Stallone's name. So I thought it was kind of a cool thing for the character, because if Stallone didn't star in the film, have one of the characters named Sly, and that's Tom Sizemore's character. So, but yeah, so Passenger 57, how it opens up. It opens up with our bad guy Charles Rain, played by Bruce Payne. I thought he did a really great job as this bad guy. He was fun, and he was just how it shows how this guy is like not right in the head is how the way he speaks. Like he's going to like do like this plastic surgery, and he's like, it's like they want to put in pain stuff, and he's like, there will be no pain. Just how he speaks it, how he speaks it out, and then he says, "What time is it, Doc?" And then because the SWAT team's coming in to get him, and then when he gets up, he just cuts the doctor's throat, and he's running. He jumps off a window, a little foot chase, and he gets arrested. Then we're introduced to Wesley Snipes as John Cutter. He's a guy who was a police officer because you get this nice flashback because in black and white that his wife died during an attempted robbery because the robber was holding her at gunpoint. He's like, drop whatever, do as I say, and Wesley Snipes, he was doing exactly what he says. He puts the gun down, complying though, but the guy just goes and shoots his wife dead, and then he goes and just shoots that bad guy too. And I thought it was a well shot flashback, I would say. Kind of feel sorry for the guy. So, and he's a guy, but now he's just at this national security for airlines. He's doing a little training exercise with another character named Marty, played by Alex Datcher. She was getting a little saying a little bit of the stuff like after the training, and Snipes was like, this talk like that will get you killed and all that stuff. So it kind of like left it uneasy with her, and then by the time when he gets put on the plane along with Charles Rain, and of course because he didn't want to do it, but he gets convinced by Tom Sizemore and meeting up with him, and also with Bruce Greenwood. Who I like Bruce. Bruce Greenwood is an actor that I know of. He's been in a lot of films as well. He's like, hey, that's Bruce Greenwood. I know him. So yeah, he gets put on the plane, and he didn't know that no terrorists are going to be on the planes, because it's like later on saying, the FBI didn't tell us anything. So, and by the time when the plane takes off, and Charles Rain, he has this already planned out. He has bad guys already on the inside. This one girl who's a stewardess is actually played by Elizabeth Harley, who I mostly remember from Austin Powers. And actually, she was also in My Favorite Martian too as well. Okay, when I remember. So yeah. I guess like an early role for her, because she's like one of the bad guys as stewardesses on the plane, because she when she brings like the guy, Charles Rain's supposed to be like a stake, but she has a gun underneath and shoots the two agents that's been watching him. Or with another thing with Charles Rain, a little fun moment where there's this kid that's just staring at him, and he's like doing a little thing with the fingers pretending to be a gun, and he's like, oh. And then Charles Rain does the same thing with two fingers, but he shows he's in handcuffs. It kind of like scares the kid when he does this. So, and you get the little fun moments right there with the bad guy. I thought Bruce Payne was really great as this bad guy. But then everyone's just taking over the plane while Wesley Snipes while he's in the restroom. And then when Charles Rain, he goes to the cockpit, and he says, who's in charge? And the pilot says, I am. Shoots him dead right away. And then he says, again, who's in charge? You are. Good. I thought it was kind of like, he's like, who's in charge? He's like, I am. Bam. Again, who's in charge? You are. So yeah. And then, of course, typical thing on follow instructions and you'll live, or else do something ridiculous or you die. Typical, like, bad guy speech for hijack and stuff like that. And Wesley Snipes, he tries, makes a phone call to Tom Sizemore, and tries to for there's hijacking. He's like pretending like, oh my god, I don't want to die, please don't kill me and all that. So that's what gets us Tom Sizemore attention over the phone, and it attacks this guy, like slams his arm against by shutting the door on him, and he holds the guy like this. And while Charles Rain, he first he was having that stewardess named Marty hostage, but he switches over to another person, and he tells like, oh, this guy he has like he's a family man, he has a daughter and all that, and he's like, well, now she's gonna that notices she had a father, and shoots the guy dead, and it kind of like brought back like a flashback to what the Snipes had with his wife, and then he shoots his own guy dead as well. And then they both go down into under the plane is, and Snipes is fighting with this another guy who's working with Rain. Shows off a few of his moves, and then he gets ready to bring the plane down by dumping some fuel, and which this was to land this little airfield in Louisiana. And then when he's talking on the phone with Bruce Payne, with this line that I love this line. It's probably like the line that's the best line in the entire film, but I still love the line. He's like, Snipes telling him, Charlie, do you play roulette? On occasion. Well, let me give you a word of advice. And then like how the camera just zooms in on Snipes with this music going, dun 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 dun, and he says, always bet on black. I just love the line. It's like how the camera just zooms in for a good one liner with the music going dun 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 dun. Always bet on black. I love that line. I'm sure a lot of people do, but it's like one of the famous line in the film. But I just as something for what I was saying, I think it's pretty damn funny. So. They were both gonna jump off the plane, but he gets kicked out of the plane by another henchman, who's this guy, who's like a French bad guy. And of course, when he gets out, when the cops together, it's the typical, the cops, they don't believe the guy about what he's saying, so he gets taken into custody. While the chief is like dealing with, talking to Charles Rain. And when Snipes is being questioned, and he's like, who he is, and then Charles Rain calls him again. He's like, and he's like saying that Snipes is one of his men that betrayed him, and then the guy, the officer is saying it's like, it's like he works, you work for him, and Snipes goes and says, yeah, I know guy. Well, he says, yeah, well, I know guys who saw Elvis at a goddamn mall. You're gonna believe that shit too? And then the guy, the cop says, he's like, what would you do if you were me? And then Snipes goes and says, kill myself. So he was taken away. He beats up the two other cops, that's holding him. And then as Charles Rain, he was gonna release some hostages as like a creative diversion while he gets off the plane with some other guys as well. They head to this carnival. Wesley Snipes gets there, and you get a decent shooting, action where Snipes is on top of the Ferris wheel and they're shooting, and one guy climbs on top and he kicks the guy off. And then we got another shooting on the merry-go-round where Charles is shooting him, but then he goes and Snipes goes and tackles him just for the Charles Rain to be arrested. and as he's in custody, you know, trying to everything's going to be a flight for the clearance. There goes the sneezing again. But so everything is for the plane is cleared for the is fueled up and ready to go, and Snipes is talking to Bruce Payne, and says, you know, it's like there is not gonna be a prison. There's not gonna be one person that's gonna hold me enough to rip your fucking nuts off. So Snipes has his lines I thought was pretty good and funny as well. And as Bruce Payne, he's being taken back on the plane. One bad guy has a sniper and shoots a couple of other agents as well. And then that guy gets killed, and then as the plane is getting taken off, Snipes gets in the car with the Tom Sizemore and the head of the cops there, run along to the plane where Snipes goes and climbs on top of the wheels on the plane, heads back in, and fights that French guy. Like he has a golf club and slams into this thing. I forget what it is, but just as he falls to the ground, takes it and just crushes him. And then he tells goes to the cockpit, you know, saying, "Who are you?" "John Cutter." And says, you know, that there's one person left, and he's mine. Well, but after that, he knocks out the bad girl, Elizabeth Harley, and he's like, "What a waste." So, and then you get the well-handled fist-to-cuff fight, and it's not shaky cam, and it's a well-edited fist fight scene. Where like there's part where Wesley Snipes just like keeps on punching him punching him in the balls, and then when the door gets taken off, everything's, you know, flying. The paper is like flying out, and they're both fighting by the door. And Wesley Snipes, he keeps on kicking him in the balls, and then finally he does kick him out by kicking him in the balls, and just flies right out. The guy just flies right out until they head back to the airfield and safe landing. And then Wesley Snipes just walks with the girl Marty towards the carnival where there's fireworks. So yeah, Passenger 57. I think it's a well-made action film. It's definitely a fast-paced film. Wesley Snipes, I think, did a really great job, and especially also Bruce Payne as Charles Rain. I thought he did a great job as this bad guy. Really great. Now, for a couple of nitpicks I have with the film. Well, it's supposed to be like how it's supposed to be like a plane hijacking film, but then of course it takes like the little part where it goes to the carnival out of it. I think it would be more just it was on the plane the whole entire time. Oh, I know that the whole thing they'll make them lose the fuel so they can land and refuel and all that though, and try to make another attempt to escape somewhere else. But I thought it could have just made it move just whole entire on the plane. It's just, well, I'm fine with the carnival thing because it was good shootings and action scenes all in the carnival as well. But I think it just put the whole movie just been entirely on the plane. And if you get what I'm saying, if it was supposed to be like a straight up full on hijacking terrorist thing on the plane. And one other nitpick, some of the things on the score doesn't hold up too well up today, because I know it kind of reasons like how they did music back in the early 90s and all that stuff. But I think that some of the songs, like how the score how is what some of the sounds of the score goes. I think it doesn't hold up well. Like I said, I do like the part of the score where, when the camera zooms in on Wesley Snipes, where he says "always bet on black." I do like that though. But this is some of the parts of the score I think just doesn't hold up well as it did back then. But still, that still does not kill the movie for me. I still enjoy the film. So I think that's like two nitpicks. That's like, I think that's pretty much about it. I think that's pretty much it. It doesn't hurt the movie in the least bit because I enjoy Wesley Snipes and I enjoy Bruce Payne. A good, fun, good guy, bad guy versus. And Tom Sizemore, I thought he did a first supporting role. I thought he was good enough because I like Tom Sizemore. Alex Datcher, who plays Marty, I thought she was fine. She was there, but I thought that she was not terrible, or horrible. I thought she was fine. It was Bruce Greenwood, has there for a little appearance there. I was like, oh, okay, I know who he is. He's pretty recognizable if you know who he is. And when the film came out, it was like mixed to mostly negative though. It has a 23% Rotten Tomatoes. I would give it a much higher rating than that. 5.9 IMDb. Little bit more, but I think it's like right there. But I'd give it a little bit more than a 5.8 because I enjoy the film. So, but I don't think it's not that worthy to earn those ratings. But the film was a hit. It made 44 million in the U.S. on its decent budget of 15 million. So it was a hit, but this is what kickstarted Wesley Snipes' career as an action star. If you see how the nice images are here, and plus, these are good DVD covers. This is like the type of the covers that Warner Brothers, have. I thought these are good looking covers. Not much for features. There's trailers and. Yeah, that's about it. So no features, just basically bare bones. But I think it's an enjoyable action film, especially for Wesley Snipes. Definitely worth deserving for a 25th anniversary movie. So 25 years later, it's still a good made action film, especially for Wesley Snipes. Great bad guy. The fight scenes. Well choreographed and handled well. I can understand where the fight is going on, not shaky cam. The lines of dialogue that Wesley Snipes, always bet on black or kill myself. like those, I thought they were pretty funny and good dialogue as well. And Charles Rain, Bruce Payne, he has some good moments of dialogue as well. So, yeah. Like back here for the good American movie classics, nail-biting adventure, sensational. Well, I don't call it exactly that nail-biting, but it was a well-made adventure, I would say. But yeah, Passenger 57, definitely a thumbs up. So yeah, hope you enjoyed my review for this one. As well, it is worth doing for a 25th anniversary review. 25 years later, I wouldn't know what Wesley Snipes doesn't talk about the film anymore because this is a film that launched his career as an action star. I don't know why he didn't talk about the film or anything, but if it is, but oh well. I still think he still did a great job. Same with Bruce Payne. That's the main two highlights of the film. Both great back and forth of a good guy versus a bad guy. Especially at the end where he's just, he keeps him hitting the balls and punch him in the balls and he kicks him in the balls, finally kicking him out. Although I do have to say, after kicking him out and telling the tower all is fine, passengers keep going. They're doing woo 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 whatever. I think that was not needed. I would say, but that doesn't hurt the film though. It's just how the way it was written. But still, but my 25th anniversary movie for Passenger 57, definitely worth a look. If you have not seen this, or if you're a Wesley Snipes fan, highly advise check it out. But yeah, it's another good 90s action film. But thanks for watching and stay tuned on the next movie review, and see you later.